This Viktor Gyokeres transfer has got to be the most anticipated signing in Arsenal's recent history, and it is dragging along quite a lot. Duncan Castles has come out with a financial breakdown of how much Arsenal are prepared to pay. He's come out with regards to the Sporting Lisbon perspective on the transfer, how much they've rejected, the fact that Gyökeres has rejected Arsenal, and it all kind of essentially tells me, with the radio silence from Ben Jacobs, from Fabrizio Romano, from David Ornstein, that at some point in the next 24 to 48 hours, there has got to be a massive Gyökeres transfer update. Because Arsenal have travelled for their pre-season tour. They've landed in Singapore, where they will be playing AC Milan on Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. A tough game to start pre-season with. New players, Zubamendi, Madueke, Norgard, all will be involved. Mosquera still hasn't travelled, all been announced. That should be announced at some point today/tomorrow. Gyökeres transfer update, I do expect to be from the top three, Jacobs, Romano, and Ornstein. But the radio silence is deafening. And then Duncan Castles dropped this transfer bomb regarding the breakdown of Arsenal's transfer for Viktor Gyokeres. We're going to break it all down. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already, and let me know your thoughts. We are steamrolling our way through 66,000 subscribers with nearly 200 new subs today, which honestly is absolutely obscene. But 90% of you still watch this channel on a daily basis and aren't subscribed. So if you're watching right now, please go down and hit that subscribe button, because we are less than 4,000 away now from 70,000 subscribers. Now, Eberechi Eze, according to big sources, Berta is working on both Gyökeres and Eberechi Eze. Now, let's talk about the breakdown from Duncan Castles, because this, to me, very, very interesting. Viktor Gyokeres. Arsenal offer 63.5 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons. No offer from Manchester United. Well, we know Gyökeres has rejected a move to Manchester United. Sporting want 2.5 million euros for Gyökeres' first 20, 40, and 60 games. And if Gyökeres qualifies for the Champions League. So essentially, let's just be brutally honest here. That is very, very easy add-ons for Sporting to get, because Arsenal most likely will qualify for the Champions League again next season. And at some point in the next 12 to 24 months, he might even play 60 games next season. So that's 7.5 million euro in add-ons from the 20, 40, and 60 games he's going to play. Plus, the likelihood of them getting the Champions League is very, very, very significant. Now, normally, the way add-ons work from my perspective, when you've got 10 million euros worth of add-ons to be paid to a set club, it's normally broken down in three stages. You have one add-on, which is very, very, very likely to happen. A second add-on, which could happen. And a third add-on, which he's obviously got to perform to get that add-on. Then it goes on to say, Arsenal are unhappy with the bonus structure and want to pay a fixed fee in 4 installments. Sporting want an extra 1.2 million euros for that. I mean, they are at this point taking the absolute liberty here. Gyökeres exchanging legal letters with Sporting, and further details and analysis is coming out today. So that's essentially 10 million euros plus an extra 1.2 million just to get the signing over the line and have very, very, very easy add-ons. If I'm being honest, I think Sporting here are trying to completely fleece Arsenal. I honestly think the signing will happen, but I think that extra 1.2 million euros to essentially have the 4 installments paid is taking the absolute piss. Now, Arsenal fans all over the socials, they're disappointed, they're concerned, they're worried, they're frustrated, they're all of the above. The signing will happen. I strongly believe the signing will happen. But at what cost is this eating into Arsenal's plans? Because right now they are very, very, very all out on Viktor Gyokeres. Now, what I said would happen with the Xavi Simons and Eze transfer looks likely now. Xavi Simons looks like he's on his way to Chelsea. They are right now. He's opened the door to Chelsea move. Contacts are being discussed. Club-to-club talks will start from Tuesday as Chelsea, Leipzig will discuss the deal and conditions. This essentially means that Arsenal will be signing Eze because Chelsea could compete to sign Eze, but Eze only wanted Arsenal. But this is just essentially the now in the coffin right now for who's going to sign for who. Now, what's very, very interesting is this entire Rodrygo situation, because he is scheduled to have a meeting done at some point this week. You've got Madueke signed, how he's going to impact the players, how he's going to gel with these new players, how he's going to impact the team. Gyökeres has to be done this week. Arsenal play their first game on Wednesday against AC Milan. Their first game of pre-season, Gyökeres should have been signed by now. Now, at some point, that is out of Arsenal's control right now, looking at the fact that, let's just be brutally honest, Sporting are taking the piss. Look at this game. They play Wednesday at 12:30. That's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens there. I think Arsenal will win comfortably. I think their new signings will perform. I think their new signings will play. And I think Arsenal will start off to a strong start in pre-season. Another thing that's worth noting as well is Bukayo Saka, Madueke, Leandro Trossard, and Martinelli. The 4 out-and-out wingers that Arsenal have. How is Mikel Arteta going to use those in pre-season, as well as Gabriel Jesus? When is he actually going to be back? Well, according to reports, it's late September 2025. So Wanyeri probably is going to be used a lot throughout this pre-season. Then they play Newcastle United again this month. And then they play a North London derby out in Hong Kong. So you would imagine that the 10 days we've got remaining in July, next Thursday they play Spurs, at some point before August, surely Viktor Gyokeres will be a done deal. The fee is essentially there, and that's what the breakdown is. But right now, I personally believe that these Sporting Lisbon are trying to fleece Arsenal for every penny they have. And then you've got, once the Viktor Gyokeres deal is over the line, it is very, very likely, I'm just reading this report, it's very, very likely now that Arsenal will go in and sign Eze. They have essentially told him, in my opinion, we're just wrapping up this. We are coming in for you. They've already agreed terms. Eze's dream move is to play for Arsenal. And then you look at this team that I'm about to show you right now, in how Arsenal can set up next season. It looks very, very, very promising for them to go again and challenge for the league title. The one thing I would say is that Liverpool have money left over to go and sign a Rodrygo, which means it's essentially a game of chess. Arsenal are going to need to sign another player on top of Gyökeres and Eze. It looks like Eze probably could play out on the left wing. It looks like their front three is going to be Eze, Saka, and Gyökeres. Now, when you're bringing in an elite goal scorer, a guy that can score 50 goals a season, there's absolutely no doubt that Arsenal will be one hell of a force next season. They've massively improved their depth. Madueke, Kepa, Norgard, the likelihood of Eze coming in. They've massively improved their depth. Their backup front three is going to be Madueke, Kai Havertz, and Martinelli. Their backup central midfielders, you could have Wanyeri in the 10. You could have Norgard in there. You probably need another central midfielder if we're being critical. But I'm going to bring up this team in a second. And I want to hear your thoughts on how do you think this will get on. I personally believe also that the depth at defense they've probably got the best defensive depth with Mosquera, with Ben White, with Kivior, with Zinchenko still. They've probably got the best centre-back and full-back depth in Europe. They've also got Miles, Lewis Skelly, Saliba, Gabriel. Like, their team is very, very good. The question is, if Liverpool go out there and sign a Rodrygo, is it better than theirs? And this is why I was saying Liverpool at times have played 4D chess this season because they aren't messing around. They're really not. They've already brought in Ekitike. I mean, this is the team I want to bring up. I want to show you guys, get your thoughts. But this is, for me, going to be Arsenal's strongest 11 going into next season. The big question is does this win a league title? There's no doubt about it. It is one hell of a side. Eze, Saka, Gyökeres, one of the best front threes in Europe. Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, Timber, Lewis Skelly, and arguably the best centre-back pairing in Europe, David Raya. But does it win the league title when you're looking at what Liverpool have added with Ekitike, with Florian Wirtz, with Frimpong, with Gyökeres? You know, injuries, of course, will play their part next season. And Arsenal and Liverpool have had no Club World Cup, so I do expect them to be the outright front runners. I think it's going to be a fascinating title race. And I think that is one hell of a side. Martinelli, Havertz, Jesus, Madueke as backups for your front line. The midfield is a little bit light, if we're being critical. They need one more central midfielder because both Jorginho and Partey have gone. And the player of only real quality in their central midfield they have brought in is Zubimendi. But it's going to be very interesting to see how they get on, who they bring in, how they play next season. Make sure you go down, you drop a like on the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.